Well, hello out there, everybody in YouTube land and all ships at sea and whatever else is out there, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, or the next day, wherever you are there, Captain. Everybody else that we know, good morning. This is Mikey and Mikey Sue's ChattyBloggerMS. And this is the Friday. As I said, I could do this anytime. So now this is the Friday this week and weekend coming up, where I'll be doing season 3, episodes 1 and 2, from both those final two shows that I'm going to cover until the very end, Get Smart and the original Star Trek TOS. So, yes. So we'll be doing those this morning. And then that way I can spend a lot of time to rest, relax. And then on Friday late night, of course, I'm there with Gorilla as we do the Walton stream. And I think it's the one where in the middle of it, Ellen Corby, who played Grandma Walton, she ended up having a stroke and couldn't continue. So, and I'm just trying to keep it down a little because my beautiful wife Suzanne, of course, is fast asleep. And hello, Kevin's Theme Park Adventures. Welcome, my friend. You're first in the box. Yes, you are, sir. Hey, Mikey. And hello. Wave to you there, too, there, Kevin. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming in. There we go. Here's some smiles and some laughter. All right. So let me go ahead and pull up my IMDb background information so we know it's still there. There we go. All right. Okay, so now remember, I'll just remind you folks one last time. You know, we will cover all 5 seasons of Get Smart. We'll also cover the 2 movies they did, The Naked Bomb and, of course, Get Smart Again. And then, of course, we'll do the 6 episodes from the Fox TV series, which is the new Get Smart, which featured Andy Dick, the son of Agent 86 and 99. And then we will look at the 2008 Steve Carell reboot, which featured Adam Arkin and Anne Hathaway. And also Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who was in that one. All right, so let's take a look here at season 3. I'm glad we're finally into season 3 because some of these seasons did really well for Get Smart. I think as they got older. I mean, as the seasons kept going. So yeah. Okay. So the first one was The Spy Who Met Himself, and then there was Vivo Smart is the second one. And The Spy Who Met Himself, it is very funny episode. 8.1 out of 10 from 210 people. The premiere date or the production date, as my friend Antiderivative Joe likes to say, was Saturday, September 16th of 1967. So, and then the following episode, Viva Smart, actually its premiere date was Saturday, September 23rd, 1967. So only a day before that Friday the 22nd is when I turned officially 2 years old. So I was 2, and my brother, who had just been born literally 12 days before, was only 12 days old. So, so that was that fun. 7.4 out of 10, over 201 people have seen it. I have to say, yeah, I gave it a C plus. I thought it was decently worthy. I did give the first one, The Spy Who Met Himself, an actual straight up B plus because it actually is pretty funny. And seeing Larry, especially Agent 13, played by Ketchum, who finds himself. I'm looking at the picture right now where he finds himself hiding in a similar locker right next to him. These chaos impersonators. Yeah. So Yeah, it should be funny. All right. So it's good to see you, Kevin. I'm glad you're first in the box for us tonight. And you gave us the first like, so I appreciate that. All right, my friend. Let's see. If you can hang around or look around, it's totally fine. This is very late at night, I know, so not a lot of people are hanging out or they're not awake right now, which is fine. This is the perfect time for me to do it because if I'm still awake, you know, I gotta do something to help me start to finally fall asleep. That's how I am. But all right, so we'll take a look at the first one here. All right. And like I said, the basic plot says that the chaos impersonators are running around causing chaos and control. And the director was Gary Nelson. The writers were Phil Leslie, Keith Fowler, and Norman Paul. As you know, the creators were Mel Brooks and Buck Henry. And when they gave up writing, this is when they stayed as creators and they just let the writers come in. And these writers were very funny people, I mean, for a lot of episodes. Alrighty. And the usual characters. We had, Don Adams, Barbara Feldon, Edward Platt. Bernie Coppell came back as Siegfried, so I was pretty happy about that. All right, so we're going to choose a couple of different people here. There's David Ketchum. Yeah, I forgot his first name. Sorry about that. But he was Agent 13, and he was impersonated during the episode. I thought it was hilarious. The back-to-back lockers they were in. And of course, Max couldn't determine who was the correct Agent 13, right? So, okay. So we have one guy whose name is Delmore, and he played Agent 38. And then there was Martin Ash. Uh, I don't think he was related to the tennis star, uh, you know, um, Arthur Ashe. I don't think he was related to him. I think that's two different Ashes completely. But they spelled the same. I mean, the name was spelled the same, Ashe. So, yeah, interesting. All right, so we'll get to those two gentlemen after we go through trivia and the like here. All right. So, in this episode, it is the final appearance of David Ketchum as Agent 13. That's a shame. This was the first time that Agent 86 car is a blue Carmen Gia, no longer a red Sunbeam. As Max leaves Washington National Airport about 13 minutes and 40 seconds into the episode, the camera pans from right to left, showing some of the airlines serving the airport, including American Airlines, Mohawk, Lake Central, TWA, Northwest, and Eastern. 86 and 38 use the following countersign. 38 says, I wish I were in the land of cotton. And 86 says, old times there are not forgotten. Look away, both singing away down south in Dixie. Yeah. The phone company that Max's shoe phone uses is AT&T. I didn't know that. This is the first episode in which Bernie Coppell's character's name is spelled Siegfried. Previously, his name was Siegfried in the end credits, where his appearance was uncredited. So this is the first time they actually got it right. Okay. Now there's a couple of spoilers. Let's see. So the spoiler is that Max Smart's double is named Johann, but Don Adams also gets to play Johann the doppelganger. Very cool. So yeah, he played two roles in that. Alrighty. Okay, let's see what we got. All right. Looks like we have a revealing mistake and a spoiler to go with it. And then we have a miscellaneous mistake. Okay. So in the revealing one, when escaping from the dungeon, Smart only saws through the third bar on the window, but pulls out both the second and third bar. Note, he is shown sawing both bars. Okay, when the chief asks the fake Max Johann for his secret identification, he rolls up his pants legs and rolls down his sock, but does not ask 99 to turn around. When the real Max bursts in and offers to show his bruise, he asks 99 to turn around just as he did earlier. This should have been the giveaway. Nice. Then in the miscellaneous goof, in the scene where both Maxes are in the chief's office revealing their secret identity, Mark Neither the Chief nor 99 pick up on the fact that the real Max had asked 99 to turn her back before lifting up his pant leg, as he had done earlier, while the imposter did not. Nice. Okay. Let's see. No soundtracks, but as you all know, the filming and production took place there at Paramount Studios. All right, so let's take a look at the cast and crew. All right, we'll look at Delmore. Okay, unfortunately, we did lose Delmore soon after the Get Smart had ended. He was in a movie called Catalina Caper in 1967, and he not only was an actor, but he was a writer and a producer. He was born May 14th, 1916, in Pensacola, Florida. And he's known for The Nutty Professor in 1963, which of course featured the great Jerry Lewis. Then you had Get Smart, and then, like I just mentioned, the Catalina Caper. He was married to Gayle, Gayle. That's all it says. He died on 30th of August, 1970, in Encino in Los Angeles. And he was only 54 years old, so not a very good life, or just not a long enough life. Okay, so in The Nutty Professor in 1963, he played the role of Dr. Mortimer S. Warfield. And, of course, here in Get Smart, he did appear not only in this episode from season 3, but in season 5 later on. He was in season 5, episode 13, Ice Station Siegfried, where he plays Admiral Crichton in 1969. Nice. All right. And in the Batman TV series, he was a TV newsman for 2 episodes, back to back. The one was The Minstrel's Shakedown in 66. That's season 2, episode 5. And then season 2, episode 6 that followed it is called Barbecue Batman from 66. And again, he was the TV newsman in those 2 episodes. Very cool. All right, so. Oh, and then in Catalina Caper in 67, as I mentioned before he died, Arthur Duvall was his character. And the very last thing he worked on, posthumously before he died, The Bold Ones, which is the TV series, The New Doctors. He was the TV announcer for 1 episode, and that was from season 2, episode 5, In Dreams They Run. How ironic is that? He talks about dreams and then he dies. Interesting. Yeah, soon after that. All right, so that was Delmore. Rest in peace. Okay. All right, and the next one we looked at was Martin Ash, who played Nordell. All right, we did lose Martin on back in 1991 as an actor. One thing he did on DVD is a movie called Night Call Nurses. He was born on June 2nd, 1909 in Bradford, Illinois, and he was known for his Sunday Showcase in 1959, Bewitched in 1964, and of course Get Smart. He died on April 15th, 1991 in Woodland Hills in LA. He was only 81 years old. Yeah, so pretty cool. Okay, for the Sunday Showcase, he was in 1959. He was a policeman in season 1, episodes 5, episode Murder and the Android. Okay. Let's see. In the Bewitched series, let's see. He appeared 4 times in season 2, episode 28, called Double Split. He was Kabaker in 66. In 66, in season 3, episode 14, he was in Samantha for the Defense, and he plays Franklin Pierce in that. In season 4, episode 16, he was Humbug, Not to Be Spoken Here, as Hawkins. That was his role in 67. And finally, in season 7, episode 8, he was in Samantha's Old Salem Trip, where he played the first man you spot in 1970. So very cool. Alrighty. And Now, as I said, in this episode he plays Nordell, but 7 episodes later, when we get to season 3, episode 8, he will return in an episode called When Goodfellows Get Together, and he plays Agent 42 in that, Martin Ash. So very cool. Alrighty. And last but not least, one of the other shows he's known for is I Dream of Jeannie from season 1, episode 24, Permanent House Guest in 66, where he plays General Coster. And then in season 2, he came back as Shakespeare. Season 2, episode 11, called The Girl Who Never Had a Birthday, part 2. Nice. Okay. And according to our IMDb background information, the last show or film he appeared in was the TV movie Rescue from Gilligan's Island. Yeah, I do remember him. He played the butler in that. That is so cool. Martin Ash. Yeah, 1978. So that was it. Last thing he ever worked on. Very cool. All right. All right. Before we get to the next episode here, which is called Viva Smart. All right, let's see. Wow. Awesome. We had the chat explode. That is so cool. All right. So, all right, let's see here. Okay. All right. So, Commodore Productions. Hold on there, Mr. Jim. Let's put you in here as standard mod. There you go, sir. All right. So now we have Commodore Productions 01 at where we have him now as a standard moderator for the ChattyBloggerMS or Mikey Sue's channel. Very cool. Thank you, Jim. Kevin says, "Hey, Jim," and Jim says hi to Kevin. And there's PvP. He says, "Hey," and Kevin says hello to PvP, and PvP is giving us an update. He said the budget passed first reading as NDP, and the part D. Oh, the Parti Quebec, yeah, the Parti Quebecois, yeah, voted with liberals. Uh-huh. All right, PvP says hi to Kevin. No surprise, right? NDP at 7 seats lost their official party standing. The bloc did okay, so they do want an election either. Okay. Um, let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, Kevin says. And I do not want an election. Let Carney swing in the breeze of a $78 billion to pitch. Or deficit. Oh, I think you were trying to say deficit. Okay. Not reading chat. I will get there. Don't worry. I did. PvP, thanks. Okay, bye. Kevin says bye, PvP. Time to sleep. I agree. Good night, PvP. And Jim says hello to PvP. Folks asked why you avoid TZ now. I don't think you want to know the answer to that, PvP. I'm tired of going there and other things happening, but you'll find out later. All right, so and then he says hello to Commodore there to Jim. So congratulations, Jim. I got you your standard mod there, my friend. All right. Okay, so let's go on and take a look at the second episode, Viva Smart. And like I said, this one I gave it pretty much the grade. It's giving about a C plus. The other one I gave a B plus. In this episode, Max and 99 go to a South American country dressed as flamenco dancers to save the president of the country. The director of this was Norman Abbott. The writers were Bill Idelson, Sam Bobrick, and Norman Paul. And of course, he had the usual cast of characters. And General Pajarito. was played by Monte Landis. So, yes, we're going to take a look at him. And then, let's look at Lopez the Spy, played by Louis Charles. That sounds good. So we'll take a look at those two guys. All right. Now, this is the first episode, first time that Max does his catchphrase. I asked you not to tell me that. General Pajarito's name means little bird in Spanish. He's seen with a bird on his shoulder. Edward Platt did not appear in this episode due to back problems. Okay. Lopez, the contact man, uses the following password. Ricardo Montalban hates tortillas. 86 uses the password. Herb Albert takes trumpet lessons from Guy Lombardo. All right. Both Conchita and Conchata are women's names. In the Latin dubbing, the name Conchata was changed to Conchato with a final O to change the gender of the name. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's look at the goofs here. All right, so this is continuity. When the Presidente's daughter escapes from prison, she is wearing pale blue stockings. A minute later, after she and Max run away and they stop for breath, she's no longer wearing any stockings. Okay. This is a revealing mistake. When Max is using his laser to cut through the wall of the dungeon, you can see that he has trouble synchronizing the movement of the laser with where the flame is moving up the wall. At first, it starts up ahead of his hand, then he gets ahead of it and then falls behind again. And in a character error, at least once, Don Adams pronounces the dictator's name as Pajarito. Oh, as Perejito. Oh, I see. Nice. As Perejito instead of Pajarito. Nice. Alrighty. Well, that can always be, that kind of mistake can always be made, especially if you're trying to pronounce a Spanish name. And of course, right there in downtown Hollywood, here at Paramount. Okay. All right, so let's look at Monte Landis, who plays the general. Yes, we did lose him just last year, the actor Monte Landis, in 2024. And he did a very early film called Targets in 1968. He was born on April 20th, 1931, in Glasgow, Scotland, and he's known for Pee Wee's Big Adventure movie in 1985, Real Genius, which starred the late Val Kilmer in 1985, and Body Double, which featured, Melanie Griffith in her first role in 1984. He died on December 14th, 2024, so 11 days before Christmas. He was 93 years old, so he had a good life, a good career. Played a lot of different characters, too. All right, so in Pee Wee's Big Adventure in 1985, he played Mario. And then in the same year, in Real Genius, he was Dr. Dodd. And in 1984, in Body Double, he was Sid Goldberg. And in Young Frankenstein, that great Mel Brooks film, in 74, he was the grave digger in that one. So very cool. The last thing he did appear in was one episode of a TV series called High Society in 1996, where he played a waiter. And that episode is from season 1, episode 11. It's called Touching Up Your Roots in 96. There we go. Right, so that was Mr. Monte Landis. Rest in peace. Okay, and now we'll take a look at Louis Charles, who played Lopez the Spy. All right. We did lose Louis in 1979. He was in a movie in 1959 called According to Luke. He was born on November 2nd, 1912 in New York City, New York. He was an actor known for Topaz in 1969, Playhouse 90 in 1956, as I mentioned, according to Luke, and then he was in Al Capone in 1959. He died on November 9th, 1979, in Los Angeles. He was 67 years old. Okay. Let's see. In the movie Topaz, I'm having a lot of hard time trying to read through my glasses. I guess they get fogged up pretty quickly. Thanks. Okay. Try to go through this now. Let's see. All right. So in the movie Topaz from '69, he played Pablo Mendoza. And in the Al Capone film in 1959, he was Earl Weiss, was his name. And Playhouse 90, he played two characters from 1957 to 58. He was in the Helen Morgan story as Esposito. That was in season 1, episode 33. And then in season 3, episode 11, in back in 58, which was called Seven Against the Wall, season 3, episode 11, he played Jacob Guzik in that one. All right. And lastly, here it says, You Are There. That's a great series from 55 to 56. He was Governor Corson in season 3, episode 14, which was called Napoleon's Return from Elba, which was March 7th of 1815. And in season 4, he was Citizen Kuthong, season 4, episode 19, Dr. Pinnell Unchains the Insane, May 24th, 1793. All right. And his final appearance was Barnaby Jones. He played the role of Nick Arnold in that TV series in 1980. And that's season 8, episode 21, episode called Deadline for Murder, where he played Nick Arnold. And of course, that was Buddy Epson who was in that series. Very cool. All right, so that was the career of Lewis Charles. All right. Eva Smart. Okay, so now we can move on to TOS. Let's see where we're at still here. All right. There we go. Okay, so that was the last thing there was PvP and talking to Jim. Okay, cool. All right, let's see now. All right, so now we'll take a look at the first 2 episodes from season 3 there of TOS. And I know you all can guess which one the first one is. Spock's brain. Brain, what is brain? Yes. That's the first one from season 3. Here we go. Yes. So we got Spock's brain, and then we've got the Enterprise incident, which has the female Romulan commander. And let's see. Yeah, the crew of the Enterprise pursues a mysterious woman who has abducted Spock's brain. And of course, this got one of the lowest scores. Everybody still considers it one of the worst episodes. I thought it was hilarious. So and to me, I mean, like I said, I usually will not give an episode of any kind of series. I mean, whether it's Star Trek, Guess Smart, whatever. I don't like to give a grade below a C minus. So I got to be honest. I'll give a C minus to this because I don't like to give a lower grade to that. But this featured Marge, Marj Dusay, Dusay. We did talk about her already, so we don't need to go to her this time. But Friday, September 20th, 1968 is the broadcast date or when it came out. And 5.7 out of 10. Over 4,000 people have rated it. So, yeah, they didn't like that very much. Okay. And let's see. This was directed by Mark Daniels. The writers were Gene L. Kuhn and Arthur H. Singer. All right. And Kara, of course, was played by Marge Doucet. And let's see. Okay. Edward and Eddie Paskey came back, so that was good. All right. Well, I think the one person we can look at is Pete Kellett. He was a morgue, M-O-R-G, morgue guard, but he's uncredited. All right, well, we'll take a look at him. Yeah, but we already did look at the mini bio of Marge Doucet. She was on another episode, different episode of Star Trek. So, all right. Okay. In his book, William Shatner referred to this episode as one of the worst. Leonard Nimoy has stated that he was embarrassed during the entire shooting of this episode. It was written originally by Lee Cronin, the pseudonym of Gene L. Kuhn. Some have assumed that it was used because he was unhappy with the results. Actually, it was because he had left Paramount and was under contract with Universal, so he was not supposed to be working for Paramount as well. This is the first appearance of Scotty's new hairstyle, where it was brushed back instead of parted to the side. According to her official website, Marge Doucet said she had not viewed this show until a fan sent her a VHS tape, if you guys can remember VHS, back in the 1990s. The multitude of autograph requests she received over the years led her to believe that this show was popular. She described having fun in the role and said that she was delighted with the costume and boots designed for her. TOS Season 3 marks the first time Star Trek is credited as being produced by Paramount. During Seasons 1 and 2, Star Trek was a Desilu property in the summer of '68, and then it was sold to Paramount. Alrighty. And here's one spoiler. Gene Roddenberry later reused the idea of first connecting the patient's voice system to help complete a complex surgery in the Quester tapes from 1974, which is a good movie, by the way. Okay. All right, now for the goose. Oh, that's right. We don't do the goose for Star Trek. Sorry. Beep. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We don't do that. No quotes either. All right. And of course, you know the theme by Alexander Courage and the song sung by Lily G. Norman. All right. And of course, the filming dates were July 8th, 1968 to July 15th, 1968, and filmed at stages 31 and 32 of Paramount right there. So, very cool. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at the one man we saw uncredited, which was, let's see here, Pete Kellett. Okay. All right. This guy, Pete Kellett, also not only an actor, but stunt work as well. We did lose him in 1982. He was born on November 4th, 1922. Oh, wow. My sister's birthday. Bernie, in West Plains, Missouri. He was an actor known for Zorro the Gay Blade in 1981, of course, Star Trek, and he was in a movie called Swashbuckler in 1976. He did pass away on August 7th, 1982, in Santa Ana, California. He was only 59 years old. He did the stunt work in Zorro the Gay Blade in 1981. I think that was the one that featured George Hamilton, if I'm not mistaken, the actor. Swashbuckler, he did stunts for in 1976. And he was in he was Kirk's henchman in Season 2, Episode 4, Mirror Mirror, which we just covered in 1967. And after he did the Morgue Guard, uncredited here in Spock's Brain, 6 episodes later, he did Day of the Dove, where he played a Klingon, but he was uncredited for that. So that is Mr. Tellett. And then it says here, he did appear in 2 episodes of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. in 1964. He was uncredited as a police officer in Season 1, Episode 5, The Deadly Games Affair. And then in Season 3, he was credited as the first Thrush Man from Season 3, Episode 19, called The Yo-Ho-Ho and a Bottle of Rum Affair in 1967, involving pirates. That is hilarious. Let's see here. Okay, in 1978, let's see. Okay, 4 years before he passed away, he was in a movie called The Magic of Lassie, and in that, he played a security guard. So, cool. So that is Pete Kellett from Spock's Brain. Brain, what is brain? Okay, now we'll go to our next episode. And of course, that one is the Enterprise Incident. 8.4 out of 10 for that one. So yeah, I gave it I gave it an A minus. I still think it's a great episode. So as you heard, C minus for Spock's Brain, but A minus for the Enterprise Incident, which aired September 27th, 1968. And apparently insane Captain Kirk has the Enterprise deliberately enter the Romulan neutral zone, where the ship is immediately captured by the enemy. This was directed by John Meredith Lucas. The writers were D.C. Fontana and Arthur H. Singer. Okay. And let's see. Normal cast of characters. Okay. We're going to look at 2. We're going to look at Joanne Linville, who played the Romulan commander. And then we're also going to look at Jack Donner, who played Tal. Cool. Yeah, her assistant. So yeah. So we're going to take a look at them. So let's go to this one here. All right. So on the important bits of trivia, this episode is the first one to feature a female starship commander. All right. D.C. Fontana's initial inspiration for the story and its title was the Pueblo incident, which involved the capture of an American intelligence gathering ship, the USS Pueblo, Ager-2, by North Korean forces during the Vietnam War. North Korea claimed without evidence that the ship had violated its territorial waters. The incident occurred on January 23, 1968, which was just 2 months before Fontana completed her first draft of the story outline. Although the crew was released after nearly a year, North Korea still maintains possession of the vessel as a war trophy. In the opening segment, in regard to the enemy vessels, Spock declares Romulans now using Klingon design. Several explanations and theories have been advanced as to why the Romulans use Klingon ships. The real reason is simply because the original Romulan model ship was gone. Non-union independent creative designer Hua Chang designed and built the original Romulan bird of prey model for Balance of Terror in '66. He is also the creator of several iconic Trek costumes and props, including the Communicator, original Phaser, Salt Vampires, and Tribbles, to name a few of his contributions to the show. All right. After Balance of Terror, the model bird of prey was returned to Chang per his contract, but he eventually disposed of it as he had limited storage and there was never any contractual obligations with CBS to retain it. However, either through poor planning or poor communication or both, Season 3's Enterprise Incident production staff, expecting to reuse the Season 1 Romulan model learned from Chang, that it was gone. The decision was made to modify the story to use only Klingon model ships, which were kept by the studio, although in recent airings, one of the 3 ships appears to be the original Romulan model. Asking Chang to construct a new Romulan model ship would have been prohibitively costly. Economically, switching to Klingon vessels was the obvious solution. The Romulan cloaking device prop was created using the Sargon globe from Return to Tomorrow and portions of the Nomad probe from the Changeling. And it says this was the first broadcast episode of TOS to feature the D7 Klingon battle cruisers. Although the episode Elan of Troyes was produced 3 months before this episode, and technically the first to feature the D7s, this episode was aired on television first, since NBC changed the airing order for all the episodes. For the remastered series in 2006, digital shots of the D7s were inserted into scenes in the episode Errand of Mercy, which now officially makes this episode to be the first to have the D7s. Okay, and we have a couple of spoilers here, information. Okay, once again, Nomad from the Changeling has been repurposed to now be the Romulan cloaking device. Only the head is used. The 3 antennae have been modified slightly to put blinking lights around them. And then the phrase Vulcan death grip has become proverbial in pop culture, but this story states that it doesn't exist and was just something Spock invented to fool the Romulans. The Vulcan nerve pinch is a non-fatal move. Very cool. All right, as we said, we don't do goofs or the quotes, unless there's crazy credits, which we will do, but okay, we know all the information from the soundtrack. And let's see here. Right. And of course, as always, they use the same stages, 31 and 32 at Paramount. And the filming dates for this episode were June 19th, 1968 to June 26th, 1968. So it took them a week to film it. Very cool. All right. Now we'll take a look at the two people in it. All right. So two of the people. All right, so we did lose Joanne Linville in 2021 as an actress. In a movie, she was Beyond Lovely in 2005. All right, so Joanne Linville made her mark on television from the 1950s to the 80s, appearing in such respected anthology series as Studio One in 48, Kraft Theater in 47, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents in 1955, among others. While her film work consisted mainly of smaller character roles, and she never had regular roles on television, she guest starred on numerous series over her career, often in westerns, but especially in the 1970s in a variety of drama and detective series. And Star Trek fans will definitely remember her in this episode. Born January 15th, 1928, and it says that she died June 20th, 2021, at the ripe old age of 93. Wow. Well, rest in peace there, Joanne. Alrighty. And of course, she's in this episode, as always. We always confirm that. All right. So, in the TV series The Alcoa Hour, which she's known for, in 1957, she did one episode of that where she plays Daisy Sage in an episode called The Animal Kingdom, Season 2, Episode 11. Then she appeared in Barnaby Jones from 73 to 79. She played the role of Kay Rogers with Buddy Epson there. Season 2, Episode 10, called The Black Art of Dying from 73. And then both in 1979, she appeared into a two-parter episode. She played Mimi Nettleson Childs, and these were Season 7, Episode 22 and 23, called Child of Love, Child of Vengeance, Parts 1 and 2. Very cool. Alrighty. And, of course, she did appear in one episode of The Twilight Zone from 1961, Season 3, Episode 4, it was called The Passersby, and she played Lavinia Godwin in that episode. Very cool. All right, and finally, posthumously in 5 years before she passed, in 2016, she was in a podcast series called Starship Excelsior, and she played the Legate, Legate, for one episode, and that was season 4, episode 13, called Tomorrow's Excelsior. Okay, cool. So that was the last thing she did. All right, so that is Miss Joanne Linville. Rest in peace. All right, now we'll take a look at Tall, Jack Donner. Okay, yes, unfortunately, we did lose Jack in 2019. Not only was he an actor, he also wrote and produced. In a movie in 2016 before his death, it was called So This Is Love. All right. Widely known and admired as Romulan Sub-Commander Tall in the original Star Trek episode we're covering, Jack Donner has worked steadily in TV, film, and theater since the 1950s. He was born and raised in LA, and he did his first professional theater and TV work there before heading for New York City during the glory days of TV, appearing in many prestigious early shows like Studio One from 48, and of course soap operas such as The World Turns and Guiding Light. He also did 7 seasons of New York Regional and Stock Theater. So in LA, he was born October 29th, 1928, and then he died September 21st, one day before my birthday, in 2019. He was 90 years old. That is so cool. Okay, so he played Jack in a movie short called So This Is Love from 2016. He was Grandpa in a movie called Four Christmases in 2008. And of course, Tall in this episode. And he was in that really interesting one with Gabriel Byrne called Stigmata, which also featured one of the Arquettes. Where he played Father Alameda in 1999. And the last thing he worked on posthumously was Reverend Reynolds was the character in a movie called Haunted 333 from 2021. All right. So that is Jack Donner. Thank you, Jack. And rest in peace. Okay. And that is it for the Enterprise incident. Let's see if we still have who else we have here. Kevin says, I am doing good, Mikey. Well, thank you, Kevin. I hope you're doing well, sir. Always, we always pray for you, my brother. All the time. I'm glad that you're doing well. Thank you so much for letting me know. Yeah. And we have 3 likes, so very cool. That is awesome. And I'll add mine to the mix, so we'll have 4. That'll be just fine. That's awesome by me. Okay, so we'll just go over quickly. Let me make sure I cross this out for myself so I know what I'm doing. And we'll get to the other ones. We'll tell you when those are coming up. So I'm so glad you folks are here to watch it. And if not, to hit the like. Appreciate that. So remember, hit the like if you liked it. And don't forget to share the video. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We do have restarting. We have 32 wonderful subscribers to the channel. And yep, we're still rebuilding. Hopefully, we can get back there and get to those triple digit numbers we had previously. We did finish with 315 previous subscribers to Mikey Sue's 4, which, by the way, is just our regular videos are out there that we put together over the last, well, basically, if I start from 2015, after I finished the other one, yeah, basically the last 10 years, basically, yeah, till it ended. So, all right. So we'll cross this out so we know we did this already. Okay. All right, and let's cross that out so we know we did that. Okay. So then that's on the 7th today. So 7. Let's circle it. All right, so I'll let you know the next 4 things we got coming up here on the channel. And, but I'll let you know the 2 episodes from each show that we got coming up next time. And the next 2 we'll be covering here from Star Trek will be the Paradise Syndrome, which is episode 3 from season 3. And then episode 4, And the Children Shall Lead, which again is a very poor episode. So it's going to get my C- again. Yeah, more than likely. Okay. So that's just to give you a hint of what's coming up. And we'll take a look at Get Smart so we can let you know episodes 3 and 4 from season 3 for that one. And just give me a moment here. I'll pull it up down here. Okay. So the next time, one of them is called Witness for the Persecution. And the other one is called The Spirit is Willing. Cool. So that's the next 2, episode 3 and 4 for season 3 for Get Smart. Okay, cool. And by the way, I ate spaghetti for dinner. Yeah, that's cool, dude. We had goulash for ours. We had some potatoes, we had onions, we had pepper, we had meatballs. Yeah, we had some good stuff. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff, my friend. Alrighty, so let's thank Kevin's Theme Park Adventures for coming in. Remember, he has a good channel. Make sure you check out his videos that he shot for the 70th anniversary earlier this year of Walt Disneyland. And see if you can catch some of his earlier videos he did for Walt Disney World as well. I want to thank very much so Commodore Productions 01, Mr. Jim, for coming in and for being able to help us resolve our differences. And I appreciate you, Jim. Thanks for coming in and supporting us tonight. Also, I want to thank our brother, Pleasant Valley Picker, Mr. PvP from BC, and for bringing us up to date on some of the election coverage, things that were going on. So thanks for that, PvP. I just don't feel like doing TZ anymore, Twilight Zone. Just not into it anymore, sir. Yeah, just too much going on there. Okay, so Kevin, Jim, and PvP, thank you so much, guys, for coming in here. I appreciate you very much for the 3 likes. We much appreciate that. 2 people still watching. That's awesome. And yeah, Jim's saying I'm falling asleep. Night, everyone. Good night, Jim. Good night, Jim. And good night, Jim, from Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Okay. All right. So what we got coming up then in the next week or so? Let's see. All right. So later tonight, of course, Gorilla. I hope to be there for his Walton stream, and I'll let them know the situation why I won't be doing Twilight Zone or any more of the other thing, the Dark Shadows. I just lost interest. Too much drama, too much going on. Okay, so Walton's then later tonight, and usually I think he starts it at 10 o'clock, but it might be 9 o'clock my time Eastern, 8 o'clock his in the Central Time Zone. Let's see. Okay, then on Saturday, November 8th at 5:35 p.m. Eastern, I am working with Chance Bartels, my best friend there in Atlanta, Georgia, on the Nostalgic Pod Blast. We will be talking about the great Johnny Carson from late night TV. And Natalie, looking forward to working with you again, young lady there on Saturday night. All right. Then after Let's see. Yeah, then on Sunday, Sunday, anytime, probably after dinner, because we do have a special dinner we get every 2 weeks from the complex. So if the dinners are still going on after that, I will come back here and I will do episodes 3 and 4 from season 3 of both shows, GS and TOS. So that'll be this coming Sunday. And then finally, to update, we'll do GS and TOS Season 3, Episodes 5 and 6 on November 11th, which is, I believe, uh, Tuesday. Yes, 2 days later. So, yeah, so Tuesday. So that'll be, and of course, that'll be before Gorilla does his cigar lounge, if he does it. So, yeah, so that'll be on November 11th. And usually we'll probably do these maybe once or maybe twice a week. Um, in this case, just once for next week is November 11th when I plan it. And then I might plan something with Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf. That weekend, next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, she's planning on hopefully 2 podcasts that she can do. One with our brother Larry, talk about music and things like that. And then our other one with Ezra Carter, where she'll be talking with him about his appearances in Hollywood, movies he's worked on, and so on, and TV. So hopefully those all go down and we can have some fun on that next weekend on Saturday and Sunday. That would be, I believe, yeah, the 15th and the 16th, I believe, next week. Yeah. So, all right, cool. So that's all the plans we got coming up here on the ChattyBloggerMS channel. Next month, I'm hoping to do a 1v1 with our niece Charlotte from Charlotte Agent Charlotte Nightstar, her channel, and I'm also trying to set it up to where I can do after hers. I want to do a final 1v1 for this year with our friend Sci-Fi Sif Dan, and so hopefully we can get a day together to where we can interview and everything. So we'll see what we can do. Last but not least, don't forget January 1st, big reveal. Let you know that we're only gonna have certain panelists to help us because it's a it's something that I discussed with my wife. It's very special subjects that I don't think have been pursued by very many YouTube channels on in the last few years or anything that I've been on. And plus, we will have a special celebration um, around this time, a year from now. We're going to plan a very special celebration in November, right around the 30th of 2026. We are going to celebrate specially with a live panel, um, selected, but we will have chat open so people can talk to us. It's going to be my 20th anniversary of being a part of YouTube as a YouTube creator. I'm very proud of that. And even though I have had a lot of work that I did for Warlord Fade, my very first one, and for my second one that I worked on with my beautiful wife, Mikey Sue's 4. And now we have ChattyBloggerMS. This will be our last and final, YouTube channel that we're working with that we're going to be doing, downloading things. We've already got a Mikey Sue's triple playlist, which features all the memories from all 3 uh, channels I've worked on, including my very first one, as I said. I've got close to 2,300 liked videos, which I've downloaded as well. Hopefully, everybody will get a chance to go through those and take a look at them. So, as I said, all of that will be revealed next year around January 1st. I haven't decided yet if I want to do for this channel. I haven't decided if I want to do a Christmas stream or just join somebody else's. I may just decide to do that because I only have the free plan and I can't fit more than 6 people on a panel at once. So I wouldn't want to put people out and have them wait for me online, um, to enter and come in. I don't like to have people wait for long like that. Um, and I usually want to have them up right away. So we'll just see what happens with that. Same with Christmas. We don't know. Um, Same with American Thanksgiving. So and then New Year's Eve. I don't know. So I may not do anything during the holidays this year as far as StreamYard or live streams. I might just do like, quick celebrations, just come here on webcam and just say, hey, you know, happy, Merry Christmas and all that stuff. So, all right. Alrighty then, folks. Well, as we always say here at Mikey Sue's 4, thanks again to Gene Siskel formerly of the Chicago Tribune, and who did the Siskel and Ebert at the movies where he said, and now the aisle is closed. And I want to thank my brother Larry. Brother Larry, I hope you're still doing well, recovering in your from your past surgery, and everything else going on well for you. Everything going good. And he always said, always be yourself. My beautiful wife Suzanne, of course, who always says, leave everything in God's hands. And that's what you should do. I mean, if you do believe in God steadfastly and you want to be able to know that your prayers have been answered, maybe not in the way you may think, but still have them answered. So, yes, make sure that you remember that. And of course, my friend and fellow brother Matt Arnold, who said for me to say, remember, you never know where you'll hear or see me next, and he helped me with that. So thank you very much, Brother Matt, for that. So cool. All right, so finally, as I always say, God bless America, God bless Canada, God bless Europe, and the rest of the world. Remember, we only have one like it, so make sure that we do try to become the future stewards and guardians to take care of our future generations out there that want to see the world in all its beauty, and hopefully we can all achieve a fragile peace around the world as well. And remember, peace from Mikey Sue's 4. So, on behalf of myself, my beautiful wife Suzanne, my beautiful cats Moon Pie and Deja Vu, I want to thank you all for appearing here tonight. And amen. Thank you. Yes, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Thank you, sir. Yes, pray for everybody. Yes, in our community. Like I said, Larry going through his thing, and Jay with Leanna, both of them going through their own thing. Jason and Nikki going through their thing. Yeah, please pray for all of us, everybody in the community. Thank you, Kevin. You're awesome, Kevin. Thank you. Amen. All right. So take care, everybody. Good luck with the weekend. Have some fun. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. Remember, it's a dangerous world, so you got to be very safe. And like I say, God bless, and we will see you guys again, guys and girls again. Yeah, bye, Mikey. Thank you, Kevin. Yep. And so we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see some of you at Gorilla's Walton stream there on Friday night later tonight, and hopefully, I'll get to see most of you at Chance Bartel's Nostalgic Pod Blast at 5:35 p.m. Eastern this coming Saturday afternoon. So, thank you all again. We'll see you soon.